Welcome to the Sustainability Nugget podcast. I am Rarisu Maribi.
And I am Tosin Falansha.
On this podcast, we'll learn about sustainability by discussing various related topics while focusing on three pillars: the economy, the society, and the environment.
Hi everyone, it's just me hosting the show today, and I have a guest whom I'll be introducing shortly. In our last episode, we gave an overview of business opportunities that exist in waste, and over the next few weeks, we'll dive deeper into each waste material discussed. If you are yet to see our last episode, make sure to go check it out. Today, we'll be talking about plastic. So, plastic, that material we have become so obsessed with, but is also labeled the bad guy for causing harm to organisms in the oceans and polluting our environment. Plastic recycling has been existing for quite a while now, yet the pollution problem remains prevalent in many parts of the world. I'd mentioned last week that the most inspiring solution I found is precious plastic. The simplest description I can give about precious plastic is that it's a global community working to solve the plastic waste problem by designing plastic recycling machines that can be replicated around the world. With the resources they provide, anyone can start a recycling business. And I mean, it's anyone. So that's why I decided to invite someone who runs a plastic recycling business based in Nigeria. So Victor is the founder of Jivo Africa, a company based in Nigeria, and has the vision to establish a circular economy in Africa. The mission is to make recycling convenient, rewarding, and sustainable. We'll discuss how Jivo is tackling the plastic waste problem in Nigeria and how they joined the precious plastic community. Welcome to the show, Victor.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yep. So can you tell us about Jivo and why you started this company?
Okay, yeah, sure. We started Jivo about 3 years ago now, almost 3 years. And it was started in response to, of course, some of the things you mentioned around in your introduction, the issues around the plastic pollution issues. Now we were unfortunate to come into this space through a Coca-Cola funded program where we are able to use design thinking to kind of understand the issue and create a solution that is now Jivo. And yes, so again, it was really around understanding the problem, which we found out, I mean, before 2018, I knew nothing about this before 2019, and then in 1 week became overnight experts, and we then tried to use our knowledge in technology, digitization, especially to try to disrupt the waste management space by providing the right infrastructure to enable communities to recycle in a sustainable manner.
So before you started this company, how was waste processed? And you talked about disrupting the waste management economy in Nigeria. So how was that before you started, and how was your idea received among Nigerians?
Well, I mean, it's not how it is still a bit archaic and traditional. So it's still a fairly what I'm looking for. It's an informal sector, right? So most of it's really government sponsored. It's very local, and it's in fact, something that I really try to emphasize is, I think there's about 90%, 80% of the recyclables that enter into landfills and waterways. So we don't have a great waste management system, already. And data statistics say that municipalities need about 20% of their budget to create effective waste management systems. And in places like Africa, when you're still dealing with, security, healthcare, ain't nobody thinking about waste management. So it's very, exactly right. So it's a very huge gap that we kind of saw and identified, and we are trying to again disrupt by providing the right infrastructure to enable that 80-90% that ends up in landfill, to be reduced significantly.
Awesome. So what are some milestones you have achieved since the company started in 2018?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that we could list off. So of course we have two centers in operation already, and we have another three opening up in the next quarter.
Oh,
And,
nice.
yeah, in those locations, we've collected and processed over 60 tons of material. We've provided, about 3 million naira in incentives to people in that community. Yeah, we provide employment for close to 30 people in those communities, direct employment. Over the last few years, we also have done some manufacturing activities. So, of course,
Okay.
just plastic collaboration also came in. So
Yeah.
yeah, we don't just collect and aggregate. We also try to use technology to add value to products. So we've been doing things around. We started with PPE, face shields and face masks, but now we do things
Nice.
around replacement for wood, marble, and other construction material. So yeah, sustainable material. I mean, we've been in a lot of awesome projects. We've gotten some really cool awards. It's hard
That's
to
awesome.
say a bit more, yeah, but it's been an interesting experience.
Yeah, so the products that you manufacture, they are made from the plastic that you collect and recycle.
Exactly, exactly. So,
Okay.
so also the idea in the long term is really around behavioral change, and
Mm-hmm.
behavioral change also has to do with people's perceptions. And for us, even the way we operate, the way we incentivize, the fact that again everything is really data driven and technology backed. It's really
Yeah.
focused on on allowing people or letting people understand the value in that commodity, because plastic is a commodity like gold, like silver. And so yeah, by then creating other products through this commodity, they don't just see the plastic, they see the item, the chair, the table, the
Yeah.
building. That it's not just waste, it's a
Mm-hmm.
valuable item.
Yeah, my mantra is always that nothing is waste. You just haven't found a use for it yet. I believe every material that we produce in the world today, we should be able to convert them to something else. We should have that circular model for everything. Yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
excited to hear about all that you're doing. So, how did the Precious Plastic collaboration happen?
Oh yeah. That's a very good question. I think around when COVID started, we were doing a project with the Lagos State government, a pilot digitizing collection activities in Alausa, and so
Okay.
we had to pause because of COVID. We were 6 weeks into an 8-week project, so we had to stop.
Wow.
But we had all this material that we collected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was we needed something to do with. And that was around the time where people were coming up with ideas for how to make PPE. There was a lot of restriction around transporting of PPE and so on and so forth. So when we did an analysis in house, we decided that manufacturing of PPE using the materials we collected is a
Yeah.
way to show the possibilities of a circular economy in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we started producing PPA. It was purely a again social enterprise NGO marketing tool,
Right.
but it was the start of that part of the business. And Precious Plastic came along again a few months down the line. They and another organization were looking for a local partner to work with on this project that I spoke about regarding
Okay.
replacements for wood and marble. They're called eco panels. And so yes, for them and for the partners, we were the perfect local match, as we already had some expertise in that space. We had,
That's awesome.
as they say, we had skin in the game. We had invested. We had some experience. We had shown what we
Yeah.
could do. It was just an easy match, and then yeah, the rest happened.
That's that's nice. Okay, so to our viewers, you can check out a video of how Precious Plastic came to Nigeria for the machine installations in the description below. So, Victor, tell us about the machines that were installed and what they're used for.
Yeah, so for that particular project, the machine that was really installed was really or the line, a production line. It's for producing plastic sheet, these eco sheets that I referred to earlier. And so yes, that's a new line of a new product vertical that we've been involved in. It is the first in Africa, and so yes, we are of course always at the forefront of these kind of innovations. But we also have in that same space, we have injection machines. We also have extruders. So it is a workspace for plastic. Precious Plastic is one of our OEMs, one of our original equipment manufacturers that we've worked with.
Okay.
And there's a few others that we try to work with on, in the business we do. Yeah.
Nice. Has there been any major changes in your business operations before the collaboration happened?
Not really. So for us, we actually went, we came into this industry in a different way. And so, unlike most people, we actually started in manufacturing. So we did the pilot with technology, but that's more aspect. And then we did some manufacturing. And it was just in the last 6 months that we actively started setting up collection centers in communities, right? So the manufacturing bit was already part of our business model. It was just to understand a bit more what kind of products the market wants, and give the market that, and that's still what we're trying to do. While we are also then again, to an extent, backward integrating, but the GIVO centers are the scalable part of what we're trying to do, and you'll see us in a community near you soon.
Nice. What communities are you currently located in? You mentioned 2 locations and you're opening 3 soon.
Yes. So right now we're in Maryland, in Lagos State.
Okay.
One Wuse 2 in Abuja.
Okay.
The next 3 that are opening up are going to be by Marwa in Lekki.
Okay.
Day, around along Lekki Expressway, and Abraham Adesanya community in Aja.
Nice. So currently it's Lagos and Abuja.
Yes, we're in Lagos and Abuja for the next year, opening up centers in those 2 places, again, particularly as a way to understand communities, even as we but the eventual goal is to have about 1,000 in 5 years.
Nice. Oh, that's a big goal.
Yeah, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
I know, yeah. So it is said that only 10% of the world's plastic has been recycled. It's interesting. I also got into plastic recycling, or just learning about plastic waste, and trying to campaign against single-use plastic I believe 2017. And I've always seen this number interestingly, like it's always been 10%, and it looks like it hasn't increased. This is on a global scale now. And you also mentioned that in Nigeria, 80% of the plastic ends up in landfill. So how has GIVO positioned itself to address this problem, at least in Nigeria and maybe in Africa later as you grow?
And thank you. So I really think again that number is a number to always remember, and it's not reducing anytime soon. So again, Nigeria 80-90% ends up in landfill. It might be closer to 95%, ends up in waterways, and right. And we have 3 of the largest 50 dump sites in the world are in Nigeria.
Wow,
and most
I didn't know that.
around coastal areas.
Wow.
So anyways, there's a big problem there. With GIVO, how we're trying to really solve this is a bit different from how it's been done in the past, and it's really around the modularity and community-based interception. So community-based advocacy, education, incentives, and again, pickup services. We offer free pickup services. We operate in a 2-kilometer radius from where we're set up. So again, it's very community-based. And all our activities are powered by solar energy. So it's
That's
also an
nice.
auto setup, and yeah, we also make new products at the end. So
Mhm.
we recycle. Something that is very interesting in this space is there are a lot of recyclers that do not recycle.
Yeah.
There's a difference between aggregation and recycling.
Yeah.
That's a story for another day. But yeah, we do
Yeah.
recycle in communities, providing jobs within those communities in that 2 kilometer radius, providing incentives. We give about $10,000 per annum within a 2 kilometer radius.
Mm.
Yeah, we collect 90 metric tons within a 2 kilometer radius. So it's about modularity in the collection, the advocacy, the education, yeah, and providing convenience to everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. Even you mentioned when you mentioned most like recyclers don't recycle, I can definitely relate with that because even here in the US, what we have is we have waste haulers. So there are people who would come and pick up your garbage and then they take them to mixed recycling facilities and then they sort them and actually export them to other countries. When China stopped, banned most of the waste collect, banned most of the waste from coming into their country. That's when most of the Western countries went into, should I say, panic for a bit, and then they found other places to start exporting them to. So, yeah, I think I'm really proud of what you're doing with your company because first you recognize that yes, let's get this waste out of the environment, but also you are actually making sure you're actually doing something with it. Yeah, you're not just like shipping it off to other places or trying to make it another person's problem.
There is an economic context to it, right? So
Yeah.
I like to, again, people like to make this industry seem like a CSR activity, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it is a business,
Mm-hmm.
and it should be treated as a business. And as a business, there are opportunities in the space.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, I would not be here if I thought it was a CSR or a, saving the world thing. Yes, we want to save the world.
Right.
We
Right.
also want to make money and impact while doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're trying to tell our viewers. Like waste is a raw material that can be used to make wealth, actually grow businesses, and it's just about really understanding that yes, this is a business and this is the raw material to make my product. It's not the social, it's not just a social responsibility, or yes, we're saving the world, but more like we're also actually growing the economy.
Yeah.
Are there any exciting projects? I know you mentioned earlier that you are planning to open 3 more centers, but are there like other things that we should be looking forward to?
Um, yeah, there's always a lot that we're doing. It's there's always a lot that we're doing. It's a bit tough. I'll just say that yeah, over the next few months, we're opening up centers across Lagos and Abuja to start with, and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe the states. So we'll be somewhere close to you pretty soon. We're not just working for Nigeria. We're not just working for Africa. We're working for everywhere that there is a plastic problem.
That's cool.
So
Nice. So since plastic is, this is an interesting question. Since plastic is made out of fossil fuels and we are in the current state of the world with climate change and what the damage that fossil fuel has done, um, we are pushing to transition away from fossil fuels. Do you think humans, in your perspective, do you think humans can actually do without plastic?
I don't think so.
Mm,
Um, I've seen it done. I mean, I've been to, yeah, there's countries that don't use plastic, all of those things. But I don't think so. Especially for a lot of African countries. Again, there's a cost element. Everything is
yeah.
about, everything, it's not, we can't be sentimental about some of these things. People need to eat. people need to survive. If it
Yeah.
doesn't, if it's not cheap enough, like nobody, they don't care. So yeah,
Mm,
I think we're far away from that. However, again, a few decades down the line, I believe that there will be sustainable alternatives to that.
right.
So yeah, in the short to medium term, I don't think it's possible, but with the investments going into the space, I mean, man is capable of everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Man is capable of anything, and truly, I, when I reflect on this question myself, I think that even like just look around you. Your phone, there's plastic in your phone. There's plastic in your car. There's plastic where on like major equipment that we use. So, or even in the health field, for example, like plastic is or has saved life in some ways. So I'm not sure about us like totally just going plastic free, but I think the most important thing to note is like the one that really causes damage is single use plastic. And that's what I try to point out to people all the time. How do we really like reduce the way we keep just using and throwing away without really giving thoughts to what we can make out of it. Um, so I mentioned in the intro that anyone can start a plastic recycling business. Do you think that's correct?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, no one is stopping you, right?
Yeah.
Starting is easy. Like you just register, you start, you tell your hey, I'm starting recycling business. So yeah,
And the logistics.
I think, right? That's starting. So yeah, anyone can
Mm,
start a recycling business.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this we've come to the end of this interview. Thank you so much, Victor, for joining us today. I'm definitely excited about what Jivo is doing, and I am. I mean, I'll be following to see the growth and your role in addressing this major environmental issue. Thank you all for watching till the end. I hope you learned something or got inspired to take action. If you would like to learn more about Jivo and follow their growth, the link to their website is in the description. If you're also interested in joining the Precious Plastic community or starting one in your area, the link is also provided below as well. Until next time, I would urge you to take one conscious step to reduce waste in your life. And feel free to share with us in the comment what you're doing. If you are also thinking about starting a recycling business, let us know. I do hope to hear from you soon. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to the Sustainability Nuggets podcast. I am Rarsu Maribi.
And I am Tosin Falarunshaw. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave a rating and review on wherever you listen to your podcast.
You can also show your support by signing up for a small donation to help sustain future episodes. You can find all relevant links in the description. See you in our next episode.